Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Accucare High School Football Preview Show, Monmouth County Edition. Today, we are going to talk Raritan Rockets football with head football coach, veteran head football coach, Coach Anthony Petruzzi. Coach, you are a veteran, man. I love it. I remember when you were the assistant coach, beating us at Boasting all those years, and now you're the head coach in your 13th season. You're getting old.
Yeah. My staff tells me that too. It's funny to look around and there's when I started, there's not many guys that are still in that same position.
No.
Things change in the high school football scene. I'm again very humbled and blessed to be at Raritan this long. So and thank you for doing this, Coach. This is just it's awesome that you bring all the spotlight onto the Shore Conference. It's a necessity. It's much needed and it's well deserved. So thank you.
The spotlight for the next couple of minutes is going to be on you in Raritan. I'm excited. I put my best Hawaiian shirt on for you. My Raritan Hawaiian shirt. I got it going. But, Coach, I'm excited about something before we talk about you. Two things that happened. I'm creating a dream team. I just sponsorship now is with Accucare and Brick. PM Anthony, physical therapy in Brick. She's the founder and owner of that incredible facility that she has all the athletes in the Shore Conference, guys, girls, football, basketball, baseball. She wants to be involved in the Shore Conference community. And you know as well as I do, it is very important because you had some key injuries last year. It's very important to keep those kids healthy playing the whole season too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Get them on the field. Best ability is availability.
Yeah. It's all about, it's like taking care of a car. You don't take care of a car only when it's broken down. You should take care of it all the time. And she educates all the athletes too. And she wants to be involved in everything. And you're going to hear a lot about Accucare in Brick throughout the whole season with that. The other person that I'm real excited about is, and you probably know him, is Scott Stump, the guy with the pen. He's back.
I know that guy.
He's back.
He's a good guy.
He's back. Coach, I couldn't pick up a pen. I think in college, that's why I was probably there for 12 years. This guy loves writing. He loves it. And he loves Shore Conference football. He's excited. He'll be on the sidelines with a purpose. He's been out for a couple years. So the Shore Football Report got better. We improved our team because we have to keep up with the Raritans of the world. We got to keep up. So enough about us. Let's talk about you. Only you first, and then we'll get into all those players. Your resume is incredible. For 1994 is when you basically first started getting involved in the Raritan football program. 1994. That's like 26 years, Coach.
Yeah, a freshman football player walking into Raritan. Coach Coach Tardif was the head football coach at that time. He was approaching the end of his career in '94. Varsity team had a tough time. Didn't win many games. I remember being a sophomore, that freshman sophomore year in the weight room during the spring summer, when Coach Generelli walked in the door, and it kind of changed the whole culture of the program. I know it changed my life. Bringing in guys like Keith Ruskroll and Derek Sininsky, guys that I've learned football from throughout the course of my playing career and then my coaching career. So, I've kind of never take the step back from Raritan. I was out of Raritan 1 year of not being a player or a coach. I got started really young. I did not play college football like many of the fellow coaches did. I kind of got right into coaching after my freshman year. I've been lucky enough to be promoted, up through position rankings to defensive coordinator, then to head coach. So this is going on my 13th year, and I've been, privileged to learn from some of the great coaches in the short conference. And that's, I think, the best thing about the short conference. And again, you enhancing this with this type of outlet is just, we have so many quality coaches, quality programs, and so much to learn from each other, we have to be a tight-knit group because not a lot of people understand our problems, what we go through on a day-to-day, schedule. A lot of people think that, we're out there doing football, but there's so much more that we have to do in improving the quality of lives of, 15 to 18-year-old high school, football player. So it's amazing what I see these programs do, and we just try to keep on pace with half of them.
Coach, I'm smiling because I'm remembering when Bob Generelli, who was the coach there, and he stepped down, and then he told me, he goes on the side note, he goes, Truz, I called you Truz. He goes, he's going to be the dude. He's going to be good. He's good. And I remember him saying that, and seeing how you are now, the last 13 years, just the stamp of approval that a guy like Bob Generelli did for you, and because you coached under him, and he's a legend. We know he's a legend, and then him saying that Raritan's going to be better days even ahead says a lot. It says a lot. Now, I want you to think about this the next time you meet with the freshmen. Look at one guy and say, that guy there is going to be a head football coach at Raritan one day. Do you really think that at the time the coaches back in '94 thought that you would have been a coach like this for a 22-year coach at Raritan? It's incredible story.
It's my story, and I'm glad that I went through the highs and the lows with it. All I could say is that those guys that I mentioned, they always empowered me. They sparked a love for the game of the X's and O's, just the mental part of it. And listen, they really gave me confidence. So I only hope that I could do half for my players that they were able to do for me.
Well, I could vouch on this. You're loyal. You are extremely loyal. You're very dependent. You could depend on you. You do so much outside the game of football, the all-shore game, the academic breakfast, all that stuff is because, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work, isn't it? To do something for the betterment of the whole shore conference of what you do. But you do it because you love it. And you don't get a reward. You get more money. You do it because you want it done right and you love it, right?
Yeah, and the reward is seeing these efforts paid forward. It's kind of like what your coaches did for you, what your parents did for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just being a parent, and understanding it now and seeing those. I can never pay back my parents for the love that they gave me. All I can do is pay it forward. It's kind of the same thing in coaching. You can't go back and just thank somebody for the track that they put you on, for the empowerment that they gave you, for the courage that they inspired in you. So what you can do is try to better the game, better the teaching, better the relationship with the players, and hopefully that grows relationships in adults and men with how they handle their business later on in life.
I had a blast at the Old Shore Classic. We were organizing the awards, the academic awards, and we had your sons there. So we had to go put it on the Ocean County table, Monmouth County table, and I would give it to them, and they didn't want any help. So they wanted to look at Asbury Park, Monmouth, Barnegat, Ocean. you know, and it was great. And they knew players from every program, and they were telling me their favorite players at Raritan. I think that's awesome that you raised your kids there, and they look at your players like great role models, which they are, But how fun is it to have your kids involved in your program?
It's every year it becomes a little bit more special because they get it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you talk about having a family environment, and as coaches, you do spend so much time with other kids other than your own and outside of your own family.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is very patient. I'm blessed that she is so patient with me because she also knows what we're trying to do at Raritan, what we're trying to do with the game of football, and she sees how it has a positive impact on the kids and on my kids. So be able to bring both cultures together, you know, and have them there with us, my family there for pasta night when we have it, or have my kids on the sideline, or be able to be mature enough to come to practice and see how high school kids work and maybe inspire them to do a little bit more at a younger age, or just spark that fire that makes them fall in love with the sport a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. And like you just said, like, why do you want your kids around? Like, what are better role models at that all shore game? You know, with Joe Campanella being academic all shore, and Ben Hutchins and Alex Dekas and Jason Trotta being there. Like, we got a picture all together. Like, who is better role models than those guys right now that my guys could look up to? So,
yeah, I mean, it's obvious that your football program is your family, an extension of your family. You're a big family guy. You make everybody feel important. God, I feel loved right now. It's incredible. Coach, great story on you. I mean, we could probably talk for 3-4 hours. We might have to do a separate edition of your story, but we could do that another time. But
I'd rather talk about my guys.
I want to talk about Raritan football. You ready to talk about Raritan football?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. I'm going to whip this thing off, Coach. No more COVID, no more pods, no more of that stuff or mask. These poor kids, this is about back to normal. These football players for the last 2 years had no normal off-season workouts to either do or see. So the poor seniors had no upperclassmen for the last 2 years to mimic for the next couple years. You got a program intact. I mean, you won a state championship. You've been there for 22 years. Tell me and tell everybody, what is a normal off-season Raritan workout for you in your program?
So the first thing was right after the year started. Like, we last year we weren't able to all still lift as a team. So getting right back with the change of the new year, we were right back there with all of our guys right from the get-go after school. That's kids can train and they go and do a lot of stuff on their own, and that's all fine and good. But to build a chemistry between high school kids, they have to see each other grinding. They have to see each other performing. They have to see each other getting better in the weight room. And that's where chemistry is built. So we try to do as many things together as we possibly can, so we have summer lifts in the morning, Monday through Thursday. In the summers, leading up to the summers, we try to do some special things with the kids. We go to a leadership camp where we bring our rising seniors onto an overnight where they kind of go through individual as well as group lessons. And then we finally got back this year to go to our team camp. We just returned from Hamilton College after 4 days that we were able to get a lot of work done, develop a lot of younger kids, kind of see what we had. And the best thing about it, Coach, is that you get to do this stuff as a team, and kids get to see the college life. They have a schedule. We're not on top of them. We want them to be able to kind of walk around, do things, have their free time without coaches looking over the shoulder, having the ability of giving them a little bit of leverage, making sure we could build trust. But to be on a college campus and talking football, for 24 hours each day, and getting them outside of their comfort zone is an experience that I think that they grow so much from. And then it's just memories of things that were said or done, stories from the cafeteria or the dorm, and guys bond on that stuff. So we're very lucky to have a group of guys that are committed to not just being successful on the football field, but being successful in life. And they've kind of taken our lead on what we think the overall experience and process is to do that. So to get them on a college campus, give them a little bit of freedom, allow them to act like adults without somebody like their parents or their coaches on them all the time, giving them their space, seeing who could be leaders among leaders. It was a great experience. And this was the first time after years and years of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
This was the seniors' first experience because they never were able to go up as a sophomore or junior. So we had to reteach and talk about hey, what's the behavior? What's the expectations? What are the consequences if we don't do things right? And our guys, our Apollo 18 members and our seniors, they're really good translating that information to the younger guys and being the model. So I was very proud of what we got done and how they acted.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Accountability. You gave them some leadway to be leaders, right? And direct them if they're not doing. And you remember doing it yourself.
Yes,
that's the most.
Because I remember how it affected me and my teammates,
right?
And what type of memories were built and how we bonded, and those are things I would never give back. So I wanted that experience that was given to me, and wanted to be able to pass that same experience on to my players.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And those things there may not be X's and O's, just team bonding, and that's important because when you're going at it during the season, you're like a machine because they're running through the wall. Those linemen are blocking for a dude that they care about in the backfield, and he's pretty good, that kid Kieran. But that's great, Coach. Your off season, you had to reteach it, and that's frustrating across the shore because you got it going, and then you got to reteach it, and it kind of probably made you realize, like, hey, there were some wrinkles I want to add to it anyway, or let's get back to where we were 2 years ago, back to normal, right?
Yeah, I think the one thing about the last 2 years, it always gives you a chance to reflect on things that you could have done better, and even certain things that we did well in COVID that became part of what our everyday process was. So, again, everything's a learning experience. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you reflect on your failures and your mistakes, there's a chance to get better in every opportunity.
Coach, let's hear some names of your 2022 football coaching staff.
So starting with our offense, again, I couldn't do it without him, Chris Damian. I don't think he needs any type of introduction. He's been part of the short conference in regards to Monmouth University, being at Keensburg, and then coming over with us. Installed the flex bone a couple years back and has really fine-tuned his craft, understanding and applying it to our overall philosophy of how we want to run football here at Raritan. Does a great job teaching, does a great job motivating, and he's our offensive coordinator. Also has his hands in special teams with myself. Again, he's not just a great coach, but a great friend and supportive of everything that I do. All my coaches like that. Matt Dempsey, our offensive line coach, who's been again with us as a player, as I've seen grown as a teacher, as a father, and as a football coach. So I couldn't be more proud of what he does and what he's able to do. Going over to the defensive staff. I have Coach Bone, Coach Keith Reskrell, who has been part of my life since my freshman year at Raritan, and I've been able to learn so much from him. Again, not just as football, but how to live your life, how to enjoy time with your family, and how to balance it all. Nick Mahoney, who's coming up to be an assistant on both sides of the ball for us, basically our skill positions. He was our freshman head coach last year. He's our girls basketball coach here at Raritan. He teaches in the middle school. So again, another guy that is always doing the right thing and trying to get kids to buy into the fact that they need to be involved. We have a ton of former players that are helping us out too, and assisting. Coach Joe Schreck, who's our defensive back coach, who's been with us, was part of our championship team in 2004, and again continues to do his service as a fireman and then help out and coach with us and give back to the kids, and had the similar experience, and really relates to the Raritan kid. We have two former players assisting at the freshman level. Chris Virtio, who's our head freshman coach, who was an all NJAC player under Coach Garrett at Keene, who stood out on the field and now is a standout coach for us as he's learning the ropes. Jonathan Rodriguez, who was part of our 2015 state championship team, who's going to be the offensive coordinator at the freshman level. And then going back to one of my first, actually my first senior class in 2010, Tyler Murphy, who was going to come up and assist us with defensive line, who again played at Assumption, very high level of football, and is now coming back to Raritan and kind of give back what was given to him. So it's nice to have former players, come back, because not only do they know the ropes, they know your expectations, and they understand what it's like to grow up in Hazlet and West Keensburg, like many of our guys do.
Mm-hmm.
So the relatability, and then also just from the players' end, there's an instant respect, because they know that they've sacrificed and they were part of it, and they've done the same thing that we're asking them to do. So,
Coach, I love listening to the head coaches talk about their staff, and I try and fix on something that because I don't know what I'm going to say when I talk to the coaches about their staff, but you elevate your voice when you talk about your alumni, and that's you because you're a family guy. You've been there, done it. It's special to have guys circle back and come back and be part of a program that you're proud of. How important is it to add the right alumni into your program for your younger players now?
Like I said, I think it's instant credibility, and when guys understand that you're in it for the best reasons, when they understand that you're trying to talk to them at a different level, just outside of the game of football, I think all of our guys can translate that to them. Like, football is great, and we're going to use it as a teaching tool, and we're going to help develop you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, what are you about? What do you want to do? What are your interests? And I think when guys, I like to think that guys think that I care about them on that level. And now that they've had that experience with me, I know that they're going to give that experience to the kids. So I think, the one thing that you could always say about our staff is that they're in it for the right reasons and they care about kids. And we could teach them what they don't know about football as it comes.
Mm-hmm. And Coach Damien, I've known for years when he was at Monmouth and also at Keensburg and all that. What an addition it's been to staff. It's not really an addition. He's been there for so long. So he's kind of like a veteran coach there and all that. But having him as a guy that you can go to anytime, listen, we know he's a great coach, but he's loyal. He's loyal and he's dedicated. And that's just great to have a guy like that in your staff, isn't it?
Can't replace him.
All right, Coach. To the left is your 2022 football schedule, and to the right is your new Independence division that I'd like to kind of talk to you briefly about. So let's hear your take on your new schedule.
Again, our new schedule, unlike a lot of teams, our schedule kind of remains, whether a couple teams bounce up or down, these are all familiar faces that we've seen in the last couple of years. And I have a lot of respect for the programs that are involved. You get back to some rivalry games that we hadn't seen the last couple of years, but just starting off with those first four. I mean, Madawan was a Thanksgiving Day rivalry. We did not play them last year, but the 2 previous years we have played them. They're the town over. Again, what Coach Gravers is doing and building there. It's something. It's going to be something special. I know they got Old Flair with Coach Martucci over there too, coming. As an assistant. So I have a tremendous respect for what they're about and what they do. Monmouth Regional, again, always is a tough team coming off of a division championship last year and a playoff berth. I've known Coach Wendell for a long time. And he does it the right way too. He's a guy that I would describe as, a transformational coach. He's looking to inspire players, outside of the football field and in life. So I think the way he's trying to build it is the right way. Coach Price and Manasquan, again, there was many years that we were seeing each other in the playoffs, and it would come down to either one of us. And I just. Last year's game versus them, again, went into overtime. We came on the short side, but that's how games, Manasquan and Raritan go. And then Point Borough, we had thought at one point we were on a collision course with Coach Staub and those guys. And, it just didn't come to fruition on our part. They handled their business and got into that next game. We lost in the sectional championship to Haddonfield, but again, I know they returned a ton of guys, and that's going through those first 4 games. That's more than a lot of teams can expect in a schedule. I mean, that's a power 4 right there. So we have to be ready to handle that right away.
Coach, it's interesting. I want to add a little bit to the division. Can I do that?
Yes.
I mean, you have a team that last year you went to the finals, right? And you lost to Haddonfield in a tough game, but you went to the state finals. Now, insert yourself into this division. Everybody's seeing that we got a guy that made it to the state finals in our division now. Now looking at the other teams, you have Point Borough, like you said, they won the South Jersey Group 2 state championship, and they have so many guys back. You have Monmouth, who won the division championship, a couple lower divisions, and moved up. So they're excited because they have a lot of guys back and had one of their better years under Coach Wendell. You have Homedale, who Coach Rainey has those guys fighting tooth and nail every week. Scrappy team, and their philosophy of offense and defense is very, very different than everybody else. So they'll be tough. And of course, Manasquan, who went to the state semifinals last year and returned a whole bunch of talent. And St. John Vianney is reloading with a new coach, Coach Papkin, and they're going to have a lot of great athletes on the field. That's a tough division from top to bottom. Would you agree?
Yeah, and again, I wasn't going down to that last 4, but again, Coach Klein and Ocean. I mean, again, you have a pipeline of Division I athletes too that come out of that school. One of them is going to be playing on Sunday with the number 20th pick overall with Kenny Pickett, and now they have another guy right now, in Tyler Douglas that's going to give everybody a handful. There's another committed Division I athlete. So, and Coach Klein does a great job. Coach Papson, a former player, assistant coach here at Raritan too for us, was a state championship winner in 04. And again, is going to do great things with St. John Vianney. And then again, you mentioned Homedale. Got a tremendous amount of respect for them. We've struggled competing with them the last couple of years. They've definitely changed the culture there. And it seems like that last game of the season has so much to do with playoff seeding. So we can never look past a Homedale team.
No,
what they do.
That's a very, very competitive schedule from top to bottom, non-conferences included with your divisions with you. But that's
we've never played Tom's River South either, so that's a completely different flavor because we don't not knowing what to expect from them and seeing how their season goes towards the end of the year when we start preparing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want nothing different. You want competitive games, which you have, and you are a no excuse guy. We are what we are, and I always found your teams to be very prepared for a playoff run, and this schedule here is second to none for that, without a doubt. You're going to be proven ready if you guys can, take care of business.
That's been how the season has unfolded since, I guess, probably around 2012, 2013. If we could survive our schedule, we're going to get a pretty decent seed. And when we get there, we're going to be just as good as anybody else. So we have the rally cry, why not us? Why not us? We've worked hard to get where we are. We're going to do the same thing this year when it comes down to playoffs. Our expectations is that we're going to make the play. Good things happen to good people that work hard. And nobody's going to outwork us. So we're going to expect all the positive results to roll our way.
Coach, tell us what you guys are going to run offensively and defensively.
So the football philosophy of our program is about options. We don't want anybody to be able to sit on what we do. We don't want anybody to be able to dictate the game to us. So I think both sides of the ball and our special teams is designed and implemented in that way. So offensively, we're flex bone. We're multiple formations. We try to put our kids in the best position to make plays. We ask a lot about our guys about being physical. we're always going to talk about not turning the ball over, not shooting ourselves in the foot. More games are lost than they are won. We want to be positive, in regards to minus yards and penalties. So, playing in a triple option offense, having the ability to get the ball into our playmakers' hands, not allowing, defenses to take away everything, not allowing them to, have the last say. I think that's something that we have done a great job with the last couple of years, and we are going to distribute the ball where necessary. One of the proudest moments that we had last year, and I know Coach Damian would agree, is against Barnegat in the first round of the playoffs. We had 3 different players with 100 yards rushing, and that was because they do their jobs for each other. When Kieran gets the ball, Accucare and Murphy are blocking their tails off. And when it's their turn to make the play, Kieran's doing the same thing along with the offensive line and the wide receivers out on the edge. So they all understand that it's going to come to them if they do the right thing. And I think that's the same thing defensively, Coach. We're multiple. We want to come from different angles. We're a modular defense, and meaning like we're not going to teach a lot of different techniques or assignments, but we can mold them in the things that we want to do. And, we tell the guys, like, do your job. And when it's your turn to make the play, you need to step up and make the play. And the play is not always making the tackle. The play is spilling the ball to the outside. The play is putting your shoulder in and forcing the football. And the play is running to it and making sure we get backs to change directions. So whether you say we're 3-4, 4-2-5, or whatnot, we're going to try to control C-gap. We're going to force hard. And our guys are going to run to the football, and we're going to try to get off blocks as powerful and as quick as possible. So that kind of fills into our philosophy on both sides of being the more physical team, being the better conditioned team, making sure that we have the 11 best players on the field in the fourth quarter. And every time we come out for a snap, it's another body shot. It's another body shot, and then hopefully in the fourth quarter, we got enough juice in that second wind to take over a game. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah, especially with defense. I think it's great that you have guys that are playing different positions. Maybe a safety, he's a linebacker, and then from a linebacker, you might creep to DN one time. You put your best players on there and you make it work. That's what you do.
Yeah, we have a lot of hybrid guys, and our guys love football. So they'll most of the times do anything that you ask of them, and that's why we love coaching here.
All right, Coach, this segment here I love because I wanted to do something special in the previews and talk about position groups, not just one player. I think it's important to have a unit of people all buying in and be the strength of one side of the ball, and that's that. So I did my research on Raritan, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, but offensively, defensively, and special teams, and we'll do one at a time. I think the strength of your football team, and I have the guys like Accucare and Murphy as running backs, not receivers, because they can do everything. But I think your backfield, your quarterback running backs with Accucare, Falzone, Murphy, Kraft, and I like your people that you could put at quarterback. I think that's your strength of your team.
It's definitely what makes us go. Those guys have to be able to do a ton of different things. They got to be able to carry the ball. They have to be competent runners. They got to be able to read blocks. They have to be able to make blocks first and foremost. And then they got to be able to catch the ball. So they're asked to do so many things. Especially those A-backs, are slots, because they're so versatile. You mentioned guys like Accucare and Murphy, who did it last year, and we got some guys that could come up and play that position as well. Jaden Kraft, like you mentioned. Quarterbacks, whether it's a Logan Goldsberry, a Johnny Molnar, these are guys that are ready to play a position, ready to make the right decisions, and have been doing really great stuff in the preseason. I don't think we have to talk about Kieran Falzone that much. He's known. We expect big things from him. He's a guy that loves football, that has had 2 tremendous years back to back, and we expect him to build on that even further. But I think all of them have to understand that there's a ton of potential that has not become product yet, and they all have to be hungry to take that next step. Some just to get high school film, some because they're trying to get colleges to look at it, but ultimately to build this thing as a team so we can make a deep playoff run and have our goals met of winning a championship.
You got two studs in that group. I mean, Falzone is one of the top running backs in the Shore, without a doubt. And I love Danny Calcari, who was injured last year, and he's got probably a chip on his shoulder to have a really good year. Because, Coach, in the end of the year, he was really, really excelling, and I think he hurt his collarbone. Do you see the fire in his eye right now, Calcari? He's a great athlete, and he's motivated, and he's one of the top safeties in the Shore.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's a very talented young man. He's got a big season ahead of him. Cal always kind of has a chip on his shoulder. He plays the game with an edge. My hope for him is that he still continues to work as a leader. Guys look up to him. I don't know if he sees himself in that role yet, but when he does, when he gets there, he's going to really take off because he has the ability to inspire others in his play. And a little bit of a voice, and this is me challenging him on this, is going to bring a lot of those young secondary guys along for the ride. And when they start stepping up, he's going to have an even better season. I think that what some of our guys have to really understand is that they can bring guys along with them, and it takes more than just them to get it done. So when we can start bringing our teammates with us and getting them to level up their game, it's only going to give us a higher platform to kind of springboard off of. So I'm excited for what Dan can do, for what Kieran can do, what Joe Murphy could do in regards to bringing their teammates along, guys that have some varsity experience since their sophomore years, that could expedite the process with developing some of our younger guys.
Now your defense, and I know you're going to smile because you're a defensive guy. Don't lie, you're a defensive guy. But I think the strength of your team, you got two D linemen I really like. I like Jack Coleman, who was injured, and you're high on him, and I was high on him too. But again, him too coming back, juiced up for a big senior is scary to opponents. Jack Coleman at the end, and Jelinuski, the junior, Tom Jelinuski, just a real tough guy. Both of them are high-level guys in their position. Would you agree that D-line's pretty strong for you?
Yeah, because, again, those guys right now, they're kind of question marks, in a lot of ways. And not question marks of can they be good players? Because they are. They're already good players. Mm-hmm. But can they have the season that they want and what we expect them to do? Mm-hmm. So, again, we're trying to build on their potential and make sure that that potential turns into plays on the field. They both have a lot of football left to learn. They both have things that they have to improve on. They're both going to be counted on in multiple ways, not just on defense, but to be on the field and being physical football players. So, again, my excitement is to see them reach their potential. My job is to make sure that they reach their potential. Our job as a staff is to make sure they see how they fit in with everybody else so we can all get to where we want to be and ultimately be better than we would alone. So, again, our voice as coaches have been to kind of get these guys on the same page and let them know that I'm proud of how hard they worked individually. I'm proud of how they prepared their bodies for this season. But now it's got to be that commitment to understanding how we all fit in to this great game of football where one guy doesn't matter. It's about how 11 dudes work together to get a job accomplished. Yeah. So that's where these guys can really start excelling. And that's been the challenge all off season for our leaders.
Now, special teams, Coach, I looked at it. I just think your kick returners and your punt returners, your returners are your strength of your team, knowing who you got coming back and who you may put in there. You got a bunch of kids that can change the field position, I think.
Yeah, and, when you think about guys that have done it in the past for us, whether it's a Kieran Falzone, whether it's a Dan Calcari, their ability to make guys miss, but also be able to be physical, and that's what you don't get all the time, from a runner that has a full portfolio. Maybe you have one guy that has that fast twitch, can move and make you miss, but maybe won't be so comfortable putting his shoulder down or running through piles. But both of these guys have that mindset, and we got some young guys too that are going to step up and hopefully take some of that role in different places off of those guys, because like we said before, they can't do it by themselves. This has got to be a team thing.
So I did a decent job of dissecting you guys, huh?
Yes, you did, Coach.
I got a drone flying over your program, and it's taking notes as we speak. So yeah, you got some weapons, and you got other positions too, Coach. But I just thought those were your three highlighted positions, Coach. Who are the top players, returning players you have, and newcomers out there that maybe it might be new names that people might get excited about watching your football team?
I think we talked about a couple of those guys already from a skill position: Kieran Falzone, Dan Callicari, Joe Murphy. Offensive line, defensive line: a Jack Coleman, a Tommy Jelinuski. Returning lineman Stephen McCabe. Defensively, linebackers Matt Agar, Kyle Walling. And then seeing a lot of those guys in the secondary, like we just said, Joe Murphy and Dan Callicari were guys that as returning players. Some newcomers, and some of them are seniors. I think it's important to mention that we have leaders that are competing for very crucial positions, whether it's offensive line, like a Paul DiOrio and a Nick Dalmau, a senior Nick Godkin, that's competing as a defensive end rush linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And then some newcomers, it's always a thing with newcomers of understanding where the potential and where the competition lies. But again, a kid like Jackson Sapp, who is varsity ready body wise last year and is still learning the game, who we expect to have a big season at tackle for us offensively. Stephen Moser, who could play tight end and wide receiver, who has had a great camp, moving around as a junior. Whether it's a Kenny Nwafor, an Anthony Ennis, a Vince Campanella, a Johnny Molnar, Logan Acevedo in the secondary. These are all guys that we expect to fit in position wise. A Dan McCormick as a senior, to take a defensive end spot. It just, Coach, the list goes on and on. I can't name all of them, but we're expecting a ton of competition. We want to get as many guys in the field as we possibly can that are able to compete at a varsity level, build them as the season goes by. Because as you said in the beginning, we have to keep guys healthy. We got no bye weeks. We have expectations to make a run, not just through a sectional championship, but a group championship. And we want to make sure that we're well prepared to take on that schedule, that physicality, and that length of a season. So
awesome. Well, great talking to you, Coach. Great talking. I mean, you have some household names, and then you have names that are going to be household names at the end of the year. You always do. You got a great program.
I think I would go without mentioning. I can't go without mentioning. Right now, Logan Goldsberry at quarterback. I know I mentioned him earlier with guys that are competing, but he has done a great job rallying the troops and getting guys behind him. It's a lot of big shoes to fill when you're replacing a senior quarterback, and a lot of times guys can't handle it. We have guys like Logan, like Johnny, that the game's not going to be too big for them. They love football, and they're going to be able to step in and fill some very big shoes that been left.
Yeah, he's got a nice reputation in the camp tour. He really does, Logan. Coach, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Coach. Thanks for having me. Thank you for all you do.
Always a pleasure, like listening to other programs, who they got coming in, and listening to you off the air talk too. I mean, you're excited about your players. I wish I could have recorded some of our calls in the last couple of weeks, because you really, it's obvious you love your players. You're excited about your players. You love football, which is obvious, and you got a great thing going, Coach. You really do. Really great thing going. So wishing you. Well, we're going to talk to your players in a couple minutes. I can't wait. Those guys are going to be real excited too. I'm sure you got good quality guys on and off the field, which is just as important to you off the field, right?
More important, Coach.
More important. Nice. All right, Coach, you need anything from the Shore Football Report, we're always here. You do what you got to do. We're going to cover you to the best of our ability.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Coach, always a pleasure. Thank you. All right, now we're going to talk to the Raritan senior football players, and we got 4 good ones on and off the field, and I think it's just as important to be a winner off the field as well on, but you guys are great representatives of the Raritan football program. Let me introduce you guys, and then we'll get right into it. To the left, we got outstanding tailback, cornerback, Kieran Falzone. Here, raise your hand,
Yellow.
wave. Yep, hello. Right in the middle, Dan Calicari, senior slot back and safety. Dan, what's up?
What up?
To the right, Matt Agar, senior inside linebacker. How you doing, Matt? And thank you. And last but not least, outstanding senior defensive end, Jack Coleman. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us,
Hey,
Coach.
Big things are happening in Raritan. The Shore Football Report wants to know everything about every program, and I do. I know just about everything until I do 5 questions. These 5 questions, I got it all. I know you guys inside out. I know you're winners, and I want to know these 5 questions, and then I'm good with you guys for the season. You ready? Let's do it. First question. Who's the funniest dude in Raritan? I want to know who's the funniest football player in the program that can make Coach Petruzzi smile. You know he don't smile a lot. He don't smile a lot. Who's the funniest football player out there? When Coach Petruzzi walks into the room, everybody kind of clams up and be quiet, and you're giggling and all that, and keeps it really chilling in the locker rooms or in the meeting rooms. Who's the dude?
I'm gonna go with Paulie D. He does some outrageous things that
Who's Paulie D?
Paulie D's our right guard, Paulie Diorio.
Diorio. What year is he?
He's a senior.
So he's funny, huh?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else out there? Come on, there's got to be at least one more in Raritan's program.
Yeah, Big Red. Ian Callahan.
The big lineman?
Yeah. Yeah, Big Ginger.
So the linemen that are paving the way for you guys running the football are also jokesters?
Yeah. They're the goofballs.
Is there any skill dude that's funny?
Vinny Camp. Yeah, Vinny
Camp. Good. Guys,
if you remember Joseph Campanelli, he has a little brother that has like a crazy amount of energy.
Good. Yeah, guys.
He's hyperactive.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with kicking butt on the football field and going in the locker room and having fun with all your guys and joking around and keeping it chill, because you need to sometimes ease the tension with some jokes like that too. Number 2, thank you. Leaders. Who are the leaders? When Coach Petruzzi has a message to be sent out, like in other words, this link for this preview show has to be sent out. Who's doing it in the program? Who's echoing it out to the whole program? Which guy has it? Whose responsibility?
I'm going to go with Kieran.
Kieran?
Yeah.
So you're the dude, you're carrying the rock, and then you're sending the tweets and all that stuff?
I guess. I was going to say either Agar, personally.
Matt? Okay, good. Matt, you're the dude?
Yeah, I guess. He's a legacy captain, baby.
I think it's important to have guys to do that. Spread out. Now, which platform do you guys use? You don't use Tickety Talk or whatever that's called. I don't know what that is. Snapchat. I don't know. I don't even know nothing about it. I only do Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's it.
Yeah, I use I'm on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter.
My question to you guys: how come Twitter's not big for high school students? It seems like when we tweet something out, us adults, like nobody even looks at it. If you put it on Instagram, you get thousands of people to look at it. Is that true? Is Twitter kind of outdated for like you guys?
I kind of started using Twitter a lot more now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I use Twitter a lot, but I think like Instagram has always been like bigger within our generation.
Okay. Yeah, I got to adapt. It's amazing. I put in something like polls, and then all of a sudden I get like 5, 7, 8,000 people. I put something else in it, nothing. I just got to put something where you guys are interactive, and everybody flocks to it. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know how tiring it is to entertain the short conference with all the stuff? Helmet tournaments, who's the best player per position? Holy smokes. Everybody likes that debated stuff. But enough about me and that stuff. 3, back to normal, guys. The last 2 years, you have not been able to work out because of the COVID. None of this crap no more. But it's getting back to normal. How pumped up was it? How great was it in the locker room, in the weight room, and the hallways to be back to normal? Jack.
Me, coach.
Yeah.
I think it's been a lot of fun, really. A lot of the guys last year, it's just been like a lot better that we get to like be like in a smaller space with each other and not so spread out all the time.
It's great, yeah.
And like the energy levels kind of like shot through the roof when everyone got together and like had fun.
Cranking the music in the weight room, Dan, right? And just having fun, right? Isn't that pretty good? Yeah. You guys do some fun stuff in the weight room, you know, like letting everybody know that they're doing a good job. You know, maybe a pat in the back, maybe like a pound, one of those things, or air pound, what people were doing because they didn't want to touch hands during the COVID. But something, there's nothing better than being in the same room with your teammates, right? Would you agree?
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you, I know, Dan, you went to a couple camps. How was it when you went to college camps? Was there any type of restrictions with colleges?
No, not really. Everything seemed pretty normal. Yeah, everything was pretty normal. But one camp that I went to up north, I forgot what it was, but they were like really heavy on well, I was going to go to Hamilton. That Hamilton camp, they were really heavy on like restrictions and stuff in New York.
Still?
But everything else was fine.
Yeah. Kier, did you go to any camps?
Yeah, but they weren't like strict.
It was pretty good. Okay, it was back to normal. Jack, how about you? Did you guys go? Matt, did you go to any camps?
Yeah, everything was super normal.
Good.
Yeah.
How quickly people forgot, right? And I think we want to forget about it. But that was a tough time for everybody, guys, for the last 2 years. It really was. Really was eye-opening. And the thing was, us coaches, we didn't know, and we didn't have any experiences with it. Like, we were living it with you. So it was kind of really crazy. And us coaches, we kind of taught ourselves how to communicate, like we're doing right now. If there was no COVID, I never would be doing this stuff, and I would be coaching still. You know, crazy. You never know what's going to happen from next year to the next year, but hopefully we don't ever see that again. 4, doors shut in your locker room. Coach Petruzzi leaves. I want to know I talked to him. What is the expectations from you guys? Not what coach is saying, but when you guys are all together, I want to know what are the expectations of you guys, because you went to the finals last year, lost a heartbreaker. You got a lot of guys back, and 4 of you guys right here are big guys in it. Tell me the expectations at Raritan. Let's start with Matt.
I would just say get back to the same place and finish it off this time.
Finish it, right?
Yeah.
And you guys definitely can do it, and you'll be a front runner for it. Jack?
Yeah, I think, just going all the way again, getting it done.
Yep. Kier?
I feel like with that drive of us losing last year, definitely is going to like impact us for like this year's. You know what I mean?
Good. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, losing that one last year definitely put like a chip on our shoulder, and it's definitely gonna like fuel us this year, and it's gonna send us a long way this time.
Yeah, I mean, getting there, and you guys been there in the past. Your program, you know, you have state championship under your belt, Coach Petruzzi, but sometimes you get there and you just want to finish the job, like you said. Last thing I want to know: why is it so special to be a Rocket playing football at Raritan under Coach Petruzzi? Tell me something that I might not know. All right, we'll start with you, Kier. Why is it special to be a Rocket under Coach Petruzzi?
I think it's just like the athletes themselves. There's like the energy everyone gives off.
Right. Jack?
I think like the town of Hazlet itself is like a pretty small town, and there's not a lot to do here. So Friday nights, there's a lot of people maybe have been out of school for like a couple of years come support, and everyone kind of like builds off of each other, and it's like really a special thing here.
Right. Matt?
So, I appreciate that a lot.
Good. Matt?
I like the fact that we've been most of us have been playing football with each other since we're like 6 years old. Since flag football, and the fact that we get to finish it off our senior year is like really good.
Right. Dan, end this right now. Tell me something special about Raritan that I wouldn't know that you're playing for Coach Petruzzi.
Yeah, going off what Jack said about like we have a really tight community in Hazlet. Like even if you don't know someone, like you're gonna have like their back no matter what, and like everyone in this town's gonna support you in like anything you do. And like it's a really like it's a smaller town, but like we're really tight with each other, and our bonds are like unforgettable. And like what Matt said, like we've been playing since we were like little kids, and like it's our senior year now, and like we have one more shot to prove what we could do. So special.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something from the outside in, and I know Coach Petruzzi from when he was an assistant coach, a loyal assistant coach, and then now a head coach. He's been there for 22 years at Raritan. I mean, he's been there, done it, takes a lot of pride in his football program and wants to bring them back into the program. He truly loves being a Rocket. He really does. That's important. He ain't going anywhere. So when you wake up every day, you know that head coach is consistent, and that you need consistency in your life. You got two guys in here right now. You're seniors, you're leaders that that fought through injuries. Jack, I know you did, and Dan, I know you did. You other two, Matt and Kieran, you carried the load. You're all healthy now. All right, you're all healthy. Kiss the ground in practice. Go after it. Enjoy your senior year with your brothers, and play Raritan football. Kick butt, man. Kick butt. We'll be on the sidelines covering you. You're going to make me work hard because I know you're going to be playing in big games, but that's what we need. All right? You keep winning what you do. We'll follow you and make it fun. All right? I'll see you guys.
Yes,
this will come out. This will be out tomorrow. Make sure Matt and Kier and Dan and Jack, you're going to chip in too. Spread it out. This is your program. You make sure everybody knows who you are. And this thing's out. You should be proud of it. All right?
Got it.
I'll see you guys later, man. Good luck to you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, bye.